This franchise has always been about players, it's always been about basketball, and it's about anything we can do to help the player become the best they can be. This is really a huge example and an opportunity to show the rest of the league and the world and that's involved in women's sports what it takes to be a high-level athlete.
It's an unbelievable day for the Indiana Fever, another step for our franchise, again, to make this the best franchise in the world.
The Indiana Fever simply dropped a shock of $78 million, but that isn't even the most significant piece of the day when everyone is discussing its brand new, cutting-edge facilities. We have exclusive information about a free. They just made an agency move that is trembling up the whole WNBA.
So the Indiana Fever announced that they're going to open a new practice facility coming up before the 2027 season, but they're going to get their own facility now. And they showed the mock-ups online, and it's as you would expect, right? It's going to be state-of-the-art. It's going to be awesome. It's going to look cool.
Caitlin, the whole Fever roster, including Clark, has a new FIC in the works. But who could it be? Together, we're dismantling the Fever's audacious actions from their top-notch training facility to a superstar free agent has recently verified that you are aware of what will happen next for Caitlin Clark remains with the company to learn why Indiana could just become the most popular location in the WNBA. Are you prepared to go?
As the CEO of Pacer Sports Entertainment, I couldn't be more excited for both our men's and our women's teams to have their own standalone practice facilities. I think it's expanding our campus in a great way. It's providing them everything they need to have the best performance that they can on the court. And I think it's absolutely the right time to do it.
Imagine this as a paradise for basketball, covering 108,000 feet, which is precisely what? Why was the Indiana Fever just announced? What is the strategy behind this now? Huge investment, let's dissect it. We are discussing a $78 million facility that will change the definition of what the home base of a WNBA club appears to be. About twice as large as the largest facility, whether it is already there or is planned to the WNBA, and surpasses some NBA facilities, and teams are experiencing a fever declaration, and it's quite obvious.
From all of the weight and conditioning equipment, obviously we'll have 2 full-size courts. It'll be available 24/7 for them to come and utilize it, but also just the best in recovery, the best in mental health, places for them to be able to also record content, podcasts, and other things that they may have to go off-site and waste time doing things like that. So they can really maximize their time spent focusing on their performance and not on other things.
What's within, then? There are 2 full-size courts at Hoops Heaven to begin with, yet there is greater strength. Areas of training that might become a pro. Sauce bodybuilders' envious recuperation rooms, with facilities with infrared technology that feel more akin to a spa than a sports complex. It's all that a gamer must do at their peak. This is where things really start to get intriguing. Institutions for mental health, full-service food, and a podcast recording studio. In a manicure parlor, the Fever isn't only considering training, they're considering regarding the entire gaming experience. The facility's purpose is to assist athletes flourish both on and off the court.
Well, first of all, our goals for this new training center is really to provide a first-in-class training center that is designed exclusively for women athletes. And I think that's important to note because it's not just a gym, it's a holistic approach to how women athletes train, recover, rehab.
This is going to be the best in class when it comes to a women's professional training facility, and not just the day that it opens. We're going to set this up and think about this as the best in class for many years to come.
Let's now discuss the timing of this. The Palace is scheduled to open in 2027. There's a serious strategy going on. In 2027, Aaliyah Boston will. Caitlin Clark's rookie contract expires. The contract is up in. The Fever is establishing the foundation in 2028, sending a message to them in the future too. Their stars as well as all available free agents. This is the place you want to be. Contrast this with other teams that The Connecticut Sun is revealing their practice area with birthday celebrations, and Alyssa Thomas of the Sun Yoga Courses said that we are a professional team, competing in the playoffs, and yes, having to have a 2-year-old on your court. Discuss a contrast at the birthday party.
So when I played in the Connecticut Sun, we practiced in like the recreational, like the tribal facility, because the team is owned by the tribe. And so sometimes there'll be people doing like yoga classes and
that's crazy.
and different stuff. And like we'll be on the court, like practicing on the full court, like the full
During
NBA
your
size
practice,
court.
doing that?
Right, and then they'll come in and we have to like put the divider down,
hell no.
and then we'll start going on a court that was like smaller than like a high school court. Kid you not, while we're in the playoffs.
They talking about keep
we're
it
getting
down. We
ready
got
for
a yoga
playoff
class
game.
going on over here.
Yeah, and it's like you peek your head over the side, and it's like 3 people over there, like going downward dog or something crazy, right? You know what I'm saying? So,
The celebrities are paying attention to Caitlin Clark's "I got a kick out of posting on Instagram," enraged by this. Aaliyah Boston is already utilizing Thursday, using it as a means of recruiting. Indiana's prospective free agents are the location, she claims, where the Fever does so adept at filling us up and transforming us. Feel as though you're the professional athletes that, Lisa, we are even basketball legends. Leslie comments that this is impressive. How to invest in women. Similar to when legends sing your praises, which you are aware of. Something is wrong.
As we look toward Indianapolis becoming the epicenter of women's sports, having professional women's sports teams and having dedicated training facilities for them is really a key piece of putting that together.
A facility is more than merely a structure. It's revolutionary and could influence for the WNBA's upcoming years. The craze is presenting oneself as the group the gamer wishes to participate in establishing a setting where athletes can succeed, both as free agency on and off the court. Decisions will need to be made in the upcoming years. Investment can be the decisive element that retains stars and draws in great talent, such as Clark, Indiana, and Boston 4. Are you prepared for the long haul now? Important news about free agents.
So we finally got the news that we expected to hear all along for Kelsey Mitchell. We finally got the news, and it is that Kelsey Mitchell of the Indiana Fever has received the core designation. Yes, Kelsey Mitchell has been cored by the Indiana Fever.
Let's have a conversation regarding the shocking revelation that was just made. The Fever in Indiana has taken a decisive action. Everyone is talking about having said because of that. Now, Kelsey Mitchell, you may be. I'm not sure what that even means. A player's sing in the WNBA is similar to decorating them with a huge Keep Away sign. This unique identifier provides clubs exclusive bargaining power over a player in the Perry free agency time frame, and Kelsey Mitchell is. The Fever only demonstrated that you're an amazing star. How they regard her by making her an offer. A Supermax contract worth 1 year. Nearly $250,000 is a significant sum of money, and it demonstrates Indiana's dedication to assembling a formidable team.
If you're asking me to give a percentage chance of Kelsey Mitchell staying, I would go as far as to say 99. I'd go as far as to say 99.
However, here's the fascinating part is that Mitchell might. Poteni still reduces Fever, but only if a trade is accepted by the team. Mitchell had a strong desire to go, which doesn't appear likely that the Fever might obtain some significant assets in exchange. We're talking about bright young high draft picks, gamers, or perhaps even another well-known celebrity. So why would Mitchell wish to depart as the Fever is becoming worse? An exceptional moment, and she's at the. Picture this: Kelsey in the middle, Caitlin Clark and Mitchell in the same. It's a scoring explosion in the backcourt, awaiting an event.
As I've said, there's no reason why Kelsey Mitchell wouldn't want to play with the Fever. And we've basically seen the Fever posting about Kelsey Mitchell everywhere. So it's not like it's something that is unlikely, but it is going to be huge. And at this stage, it's like trust the process. It's trust the organization.
Because look, this organization has proven that they're willing to put the money back that's generated by them.
Mitchell had a 19.3 average, last season's points per game, which is elite, level scoring people, and she carried it out during playing with Boston and Clark, who garnered a lot of defensive attention in the previous. You have a year in Clark and Mitchell, two of the deadliest scorers in the game. The same court defenses in the same game will experience nightmares while attempting to determine a way to prevent them both from. Fever is more than just team building. They are assembling a roster that might rule for many years to come because they have 9 players have contracts in place for 2025 and they're still in existence. $650,000. That's sufficient in cap space to pay Mitchell's extremely high pay and still own the space to sign a second maximum player and an important veteran.
This is the smartest thing for you. And there's no way that and there's no agent in the world that would tell Kelsey Mitchell not to sign with Indiana. To be honest, there is no agent in the world that will tell any player not to sign in Indiana.
Mitchell's central designation for the Fever is an uncommon step. She is actually just the 5th player in the 25-year history of the franchise to obtain this honor. We're discussing a club with legendary members like Tama. That's the type of business catchings Mitchell is in right now, and she has not taken this lightly and has been outspoken regarding her ties to Indianapolis, stating that I have always thought of Indianapolis as a house for me.
Like, if you're asking me what team should Kelsey Mitchell play for if she's, like, in reality, the answer is the Indiana Fever. Like, there's no basketball, there's no genuine basketball reason for her to play for anyone else. Is there even a non-basketball reason for her to play for the Fever? There's no, like, maybe if we're talking about, like, non-basketball reasons, like personal reasons maybe, but like off the court reasons there's none either. So
you believe the Fever is treated while you're off season, and guess what? It's only getting started. Keep in mind that additional cap space. This is the strategy. A 6'4" unicorn is on the verge of striking. She has a fever and is on the open market. Written on her, and this is the... Surprisingly, she's already made some significant. Are there any updates regarding her present squad? Are you prepared for this possible game changer?
And then also, you're one of the top free agents in this year. So, I mean, do you have any ideas of what you might prioritize, or do you plan to stay in Dallas next season?
Yeah, I mean, I've already communicated with Dallas how grateful I am because they've made this a home for me for the past years, and I'm working with them together and finding a next home for me because I've already played my last game in Dallas.
We're discussing nothing. Aside from Satu Sabali at a media, Unmatched Sab's availability was discontinued. Suddenly, I've already played this. That was my final game in Dallas. The landscape of WNBA free agency changed remarkably.
And I'm just excited. I'm excited for free agency. I'm able to talk to a lot of players outside the league because I have not played on a different team yet. And I'm excited to get to know them more on a personable level, but also knowing how they approach the game. And I just love having basketball conversations and high-level IQ conversations about the game to know where I will fit best in the future.
Where is Solly going to New York? Liberty and Suta's sister are involved. Hold on, Niara is already on the team. Due to the possibility that the Indiana Fever simply get the inside scoop on why too. The words cap space and Fever have money to invest, and Solly is considering could max contract anything that Liberty will not be able to provide unless they dump resources and exhaust their bench, taking into account Brianna, Sabrina, Ionescu. JN Kell-Jones and Stewart are already on maximum discounts.
Ben?
Yeah, to just following up there, I guess, because you said it's out to, what was Dallas's reaction when you communicated that to them?
Obviously, at first they were still trying, but I think what is most effective is working with the player and listening to their wishes and hearing out how we can find the best solution for each other.
Here is Caitlin Clark in the lineup. Kelsey Mitchell, the running point, at the 2. At power, Lexi Hull is on the wing. Aya Boston holding down and moving ahead. Anybody's nightmare is the paint. Past season's league club, Sabali, was a formidable force that we're 4.4 points, 8.1 rebounds, and 18.6 points. Assists per match, but this is where it comes in. Becomes quite fascinating. Consider those. Caitlin Clark's point in numbers. Guard Clark's vision and depth in court. Ability might elevate SA's performance to a new level. New level in the same way that the remainder of the team's output increased dramatically as a result of Clark. Claps. Thank you. Since Solly has been giving clues about fans of Fever on social media, she has been enjoying remarks from fans are pleading with her to visit Indiana. I'd love to see you with the fans. Fever, and you can imagine how Sabe hit that button, but social media isn't the only. The way that media moves SA style of play would blend in perfectly with the current Fever. Her capacity to stretch the floor on the roster. 40.6% more three-pointers than she had before. 2 seasons would make room for. Boston will rule the paint, and her adaptability on defense would enable the Fever to change everything and provide them with a defensive advantage.
But they've been effective tonight. Williams slips the pass. Gets that egg out of my basket.
Dallas needed a little bit of juice, a little bit of energy right there. Thank you for that, Satu.
Should Solly ultimately? In Indiana, we're discussing a Clark, a possible dynasty in the making. A core is Boston Mitchell and Sab. That might rule the WNBA for many years. In the future, we might be considering several runs to championships with this group.
Caitlin is an amazing generational talent, and she's going to do amazing things.
Let's discuss Gabby Williams, a free agent who has attracted attention. When they construct their dream of championship, why is the team taking Williams into consideration? It's easy to work with Sab because she brings a special combination of abilities that may be the missing component in the puzzle of Fever. Williams' specialty is defense. She's a defender of lockdown who can interfere, creating turnovers and opposing offenses. However, this is where it becomes. Williams is fascinating and not just about defense in high-stakes situations. She increases her offensive output as well in the previous. She averaged 17 points during the playoffs last year per game, demonstrating her ability to deliver when it. Most important factor, Williams' adaptability is a the coach's fantasy that lets the squad adjust to various games and circumstances. Take a look at this Williams at small forward, allowing Lexi Hull to leave the bench and rain down threes, or just think about it. At power forward, she's providing you a blazingly quick lineup that will depart rivals scurrying.
Caitlin is the face right now, and that's also good. She's selling out gyms. Why would you hate against that? We had a sold-out home opener. I think it was a practice game, like it wasn't even serious. We benefited from that because now we have all our fans there, and they're excited, and you have new people coming into a market. She is her own economy, and that is amazing.
However, can Williams manage the you wager on the strain of a championship run? She has been put to the test in the playoffs, and they even faced off against the. This lady is aware of the USA's Olympic performance, the requirements for performing on the largest stages at the young age of 27. Williams is reaching her zenith at the same time as the Fever are preparing to make a serious run for the crown. Analysts who discuss perfect time are raving about her ability to defend, and scoring prowess could work in tandem. Imagine Clark, a game by Caitlin Clark, delivering those incredible assists. It's a combination of cutting Williams that might provide rival coaches with. Williams' dreams are more than raves only on-court skills coaches regarding her flexibility and work ethic, qualities that can change a good team into a fantastic postseason one. Experience could be very beneficial for the Ross younger athletes are enamored with, assuming a leadership role in situations where greatest
building quality depth is going to be important. When you have a core three like we have, surrounding them with players who are going to, fill the roles, certainly, first and foremost, who are going to embrace the roles, secondly, and who give us the best opportunities for success by complementing what they do really, really well.
So, why is Williams being taken into consideration by the Fever? As a component of their winning approach, the goal is to solve the ideal puzzle component that completes the picture. Williams' special blend of defense, flexibility in clutch scoring, and experience tackles a number of the Fever's requirements by maybe including her. With a celebrity like Solly, the Fever are demonstrating their commitment to creating a championship-caliber club that is well-rounded. Every advantage counts in the WNBA. Williams might be that ingredient that's hidden, that causes her Fever to worsen. Capacity to influence both sides of the game, of the court in addition to her postseason. Experience makes her a fascinating choice as the Fever sought to build a roster that can contend for A. Williams is included in the title, and the Fever may have discovered the last fragment of their problem for the championship.
Can prevent that tonight. Gabby Williams with the pick. Oh, behind the back to Jewel. Hello! Showtime on a Wednesday night.
Okay, let's have a conversation. Regarding the larger picture here, the Indiana Fever are planning a success with a master plan, a symphony that is going to rock the WNBA as a whole. A perfect storm is at the heart of it all, brewing for the image of dynasty building. This is a cutting-edge facility, squad full of talented players, and the Fever is moved by strategic free agency, are establishing a dynasty's basis. And one player is where it all begins. We've all seen what Caitlin Clark is, a force to be reckoned with on the court. Shockwaves from nature are being sent through the Are you prepared for this Fever League? Having witnessed an incredible 4 times, Clark is packing due to an increase in attendance to the rafters arenas.
This is a place where players can come and get better and be surrounded by an organization that supports you, where they're going to have everything they need to be successful.
However, this is where it becomes fascinating, but Clark isn't entering Aaliyah Boston by herself. Boston and Clark work together to create a dynamic pair capable of controlling the league for years to come. It will be similar to witnessing the birth of a supernova basketball player, and with in the mix are Lexi Hull and Kelsey Mitchell. A Fab Four is being created by the Fever that might change the WNBA's history books. Fever is still present, whether it's Satu, Gabby Williams, or another Solly, game-altering free agent that they continue to the search for the last component of the puzzle and their recently constructed practice space. That's what the Fever is saying. Visit Indiana, and you'll be treated like you are stars.
She's the reflection of what should happen in women's sports.
The league's hype is electric. Gamers are paying attention to the Fever is changing from being the underdog to the group that everyone wishes to join. At what time the rookie contract of Aaliyah Boston expires in 202.7, or when the contract with Caitlin Clark expires, will be up in 2028. Don't you think? Keep in mind this pledge. Kelly Krakoff, the president of the Fever, stressed that this new establishment is more than merely the purpose of bricks and mortar is to demonstrate their commitment to offering the greatest thing for their players. It's about establishing a setting where there are champions and legacies constructed. But let's take a moment to zoom out. This goes beyond the Indiana Fever. This aims to elevate the standard for the whole WNBA. When one group makes this significant investment in their future is a challenge to all others franchise to improve their performance. This move will have ripple consequences throughout the league in the upcoming years.
So you like being a two-way player? Like, you like playing both ends?
I do. I really do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that always been like that?
No.
So it's new. You just started to enjoy defense.
Yeah. I feel like I just enjoy the game.
The The Indiana Fever's final game is setting themselves up to become the next great dynasty in the WNBA. But first, high hopes are accompanied by high difficulties. Are they able to handle the pressure of sky high? These young stars' expectations to the professional game as soon as possible, and let's not to mention the intense rivalry from the established. The Fever is placing large bets on their free agency and young stars' actions and their capacity to produce a. The question is, are they winning culture? Prepared for the next step? One thing the basketball world is undoubtedly the Fever, and observation are decided to put on a performance.
That's what I love doing. That's what I did all those years, was finding ways to add another player to our roster that's going to impact us and help us get better. So
the Indiana Fever have established anew the norm for WNBA teams. Modern facilities aren't only about opulent courts, it's a game share for future investment and player treatment. Teams such as the Connecticut Sun continue to. It's difficult to share practice space now. The heat of rivalry for free agents elevated the standard, and other groups need to do the same or risk lagging behind others who are. The game's next major move has altered, and the Fever indicated what was happening. On women's basketball, Allen appears to. Caitlin is directly related to this investment. Clark's influence and star power are driving teams to improve their performance beyond the. How will other franchises react in court? Until the current period in the. Can the other team stay up? WNBA? Let's understand the remarks, such as subscribe and activate every alert so you never click the video on the screen to avoid missing it. And we'll see you at the following one.
Though it didn't end the way we wanted it to end, there was a lot of optimism. There was a lot of enthusiasm around, this is a new beginning, it's a new start. And, I think it's great for our franchise, it's great for our fans, and we're excited to see, who can join us and help us as we continue to move forward and continue to be a great standard in the WNBA.